Check it out. This is my favorite feature. I thought this was impossible, but they did it. These are my favorite plugins from 2022. I'm going to share some tips and tricks along the way, so watch the full video. These are my own plugin picks from 2022. None of the companies paid to be on this list. I'll include links to all the plugins below. So let's get started. Augmented Piano is a brand new piano-based instrument from Arturia that morphs between piano and synthy sounds with a lot of movement. I'm a pianist, and this gives me just the right amount of experimental vibe and acoustic comfort. And I'm just a sucker for piano plugins, so I had to include one on this list. Augmented Piano can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. You can just load up a preset and then morph between the acoustic sound and the more synthy sound. And under the advanced hood, you can create pretty much anything you want. The power comes from Arturia's synth engine, which looks a lot like Pigments. I have a feeling this is built around the same thing. Last year, I named Hammers and Waves my favorite piano plugin, so of course I had to choose another piano for 2022, and Augmented Grand Piano from Arturia is it. If I had to choose one plugin that surprised me the most in 2022, it would have to be Digitalis. The website describes it as a digital degradation and glitch tool inspired by bad converters, weak internet connections, and catastrophic errors. And who would have thought all of that would result in something so musical and inspiring? I'm running it on Sanjay's Rhodes. Yeah, my own Rhodes virtual instrument. It's hard to go wrong with anything you try here. By the way, I think Digitalis also gets the prize for the most charming interface. Love the cat. Let's try something different. The most innovative reverb plugin of 2022. This is Crystalline, and it gets a spot on my top 10 list for one reason. It solves common reverb problems easily. Check it out. This is my favorite feature, an included ducker. Getting the reverb out of the way of the dry vocal and coming in right after. Inside my head, and there's so much more. You've got reverse, freeze, and transient control. Turn down the light, turn down the bed. And look, Tempo Sync can turn on the reverb in time with your music. Turn down the light, turn down the bed. Turn down these voices. And there's so much more. Modulation, shimmer, sparkle. Turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me. Tell me no. Crystalline gives you such a great toolbox you'll actually use in your music. Don't patronize. MorphiQ is a very cool plugin that may have been easy to overlook this year, but Really, don't overlook it. This is a time saver. It's an auto filter plugin and you can create your own morphs, but I have to say that Minimal Audio really creates great presets that are ready to use already. Once you've created your own morphs, you can automate the morph in your DAW, or you can map it to a physical knob like I've done here and control it manually. This really gives you more creative EQ morphing control than I could ever achieve myself with automating EQ or with Ableton's auto filter. This next plugin produces ideas that have the potential to become full songs. This is Playbox. And here's an important tip. Don't just stick with the presets because it's so easy to create something brand new by rolling the dice. So I've loaded up this one preset. Playbox loads chord progressions and samples that complement each other, and you can play these progressions, these chords, with just one finger. Now, I love those chords, but I want a different sound. Now, I could change the chords or samples, or I could just roll the dice on the effects. Totally change the vibe. I can also change up the samples by rolling the dice, keeping the same chord progression. Now, don't take Playbox at face value. You can do so much. You can change the chords. You can choose different samples and come up with so many new ideas. Simple, modern, and inspiring. If there's one plugin I've kept going back to since it was released, it's Sublab by Future Audio Workshop. And this year, they've made it bigger and better with Sublab XL. More sounds, more effects, LFO, just a pleasure to use this interface. And this is my go-to sub bass for anything I need. Here's the tip. Sublab uses a synth, sub, and a sample to generate sounds. And you can even load your own samples. And then you can sculpt it and use the effects on your own samples as well. This really future-proofs the plugin. Okay, 4 more plugins on my list, and the next one is totally free. But before I get to it, if you're writing songs and producing music at home, you should share them with the world. It's super easy to get your music out there using DistroKid, the sponsor of today's video. DistroKid lets you upload your music to Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Pandora, pretty much everywhere. Best of all, they make it really easy. Just upload your track and add some artwork and they do the rest. DistroKid also collects earnings for you when your listeners play or purchase your music. And they help you market your music with tools built right in. A hyperfollow page lets you share your latest music with friends on Facebook or anywhere you can share a link. And they can easily follow you to get notified of your upcoming releases. I've actually created 2 dedicated videos on DistroKid to give you all the details of how it works, how you get paid, and all the other features you don't want to miss. Check them out right here. And if you're ready to sign up, I'll include a link in the video description that will give you 7% off your first year of DistroKid membership. Okay, back to the list. And are you ready for free? I actually have my doubts that this company would continue churning out free content, but they have. So this year, I'm putting Spitfire Labs in my list of the top 10 plugins. Spitfire Labs is actually a growing collection of instrument sounds delivered in a simple interface. And it always surprises me how innovative they can be with like atmospheric sounds recorded on location, or their latest cassette synth. Cassette synth was recorded from a vintage Yamaha CS80 and then played through 100 cassette players. There are so many free instruments to download, so much to explore. A link to Spitfire Labs and all the other plugins in this list is below. Keep it coming, Spitfire. You know we love freebies around here. Fluid Chords is a plugin that lets you pitch bend from one chord to a totally different chord with your pitch bend wheel. We'll try something simple, pitch bending from C major to F major. Now let's go from major to minor. You can do complex chords too. I thought this was impossible, but they did it. And if that wasn't innovative enough, they actually made it possible to load other plugins inside of Fluid Chords, so you can use any other plugin or your favorite preset. I'm using Pigments right here. Now here's the thing, I never thought about pitch bending from one chord to another, so this opens up a new world of possibilities. Now this next new plugin flew under the radar a couple weeks ago, but I have to mention it. It's Ozone Elements. This is the entry-level Ozone plugin, and it's the cheapest way to get the best feature of Ozone, the mastering assistant. Mastering is that last step in preparing your music for distribution. It optimizes the final mix by adjusting the levels, the stereo image, and the loudness. Now, here's a before and after. I'm using Ozone Advanced, but you can use the mastering assistant even with Ozone Elements. I see the light on, but it took some time off from you. I see the light on, but it took some time off from you. Now, there's nothing groundbreakingly new for Ozone Elements in 2022, but if you picked up the Audio Lens plugin, which was free a few weeks ago, you'll now have the ability to easily capture reference tracks from your favorite artists and match the mastering sound on your own music. This is another reminder to keep up with my videos, limited time freebies. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell button so you don't miss out on these freebies. Now, when this next thing released, I called it a game changer. A few months ago, IK Multimedia released ToneX. They developed an AI machine modeling technology that lets you route your guitar rig's tone into their software, and their technology will capture the sound of the wet and the dry DI signal and generate an exact algorithm to model that sound in their software. This basically means you can get a fully modeled software version of your rig. Then they created the ToneNet community where you can share the models you've created or even get other models that other people created. This is a very cool step forward for guitarists. One of the plugins in this list, Playbox, was finally included in Native Instruments Complete 14 bundle. Want to know what else they included? Watch my full tour of Complete 14 right here to discover other plugins I love. Links to all the plugins in my top 10 list are below. Keep making the music you love. Bye.